It's time for Brownsburg varsity football, powered by Audio Sports Online. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by xrbradio.com, the Hendricks County Flyer, and McDonald's. This game's sponsors include Bill Estes Ford, Brownsburg, BMO Harris Bank, Hendricks County Estate Buyers, Ivy Tech Nelson's Jewelers, Pete Fay, your State Farm agent, West Side Plumbing, and Panuni's Pizza and Wings. Well, hello and welcome to Rourke Stadium on the campus of Brownsburg High School. My name is Lex Zorn, and I'll be bringing you all the action as your Brownsburg Bulldogs challenge the currently 6th-ranked and 2010 state champion Fishers Tigers in Week 9 of the Indiana High School football season. Well, proving that time flies when you're having fun, we're amazingly already up to the final week of the regular season, and these two teams are trying to get a win tonight and get some momentum going into next week's playoff opener. Now, Brownsburg last season went 9-0 in the regular season, but suffered a first-round exit in heartbreaking fashion in the playoffs, losing to arch rivals Zionsville 1917 just 2 weeks after beating the Eagles in the regular season. To make matters worse, Brownsburg was hit very hard by graduation, losing about two-thirds of their regular starters, including an amazing 7 players who are now playing collegiately, among them Chase Dutra, the do-it-all man who's now down at IU, and starting quarterback Ian Good. But the Bulldogs return one major player to build around, which is sophomore sensational running back Tokes Akronabade, who last season as a freshman was one of the top freshmen in the entire state, if not the country, rushing for nearly 900 yards and 13 touchdowns. This year, Akronabade has carried the bulk of the team's offensive load. He's rushed 148 times for 955 yards and 9 touchdowns. However, he has not gotten a lot of support, as this has been very much a rebuilding year, and the Bulldogs have struggled to a 3-5 start, with the only 3 wins coming against the 3 Tippecanoe County teams here in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. That is Lafayette Jeff, Lafayette McCutcheon, and West Lafayette Harrison. And the 5 losses for the Bulldogs all came by at least 20 points. But they're playing... as young as this team is, they have a lot of talent that will really be winning these games probably a year or 2 from now, after they've had time to mature and gel as a unit. And their starting quarterback for most of the season has been Hunter Johnson, who's completed 22 of 68 passes for no touchdowns and 2 interceptions, as well as 290 yards. The Bulldogs have almost a 3-to-1 rush-pass ratio, and they are relying mainly on rushing with not only Akronabade, but also Devontae Allen, who's rushed very well, averaging nearly 10 yards a carry. In fact, he's carried the ball 26 times for 245 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now tonight, the Bulldogs' opponent is the Fishers Tigers, who in only their 8th season of play have already established themselves as one of the top programs here in Indiana. After debuting with a 1-10 season in 2006, the Tigers have run off 7 consecutive winning seasons, capped off by the 2010 state championship. Last year, Fishers got all the way to the regional, where they lost 36-35 in overtime to Fort Wayne Snyder. And this year, while they did lose 6 players who are now playing college ball, the bulk of their offensive stars are back, led by starting quarterback Connor Christensen, who was very good last year as a junior and has been even better as a senior, establishing himself as one of the top quarterbacks in the entire state. This season, Christensen has completed 109 of 174 passes, 62%. For 1,569 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, a ratio of nearly 4-to-1. His leading receiver is Jay-Shun Harris, who's already committed to playing for Kevin Wilson down at IU. Harris has 41 receptions for 697 yards and 6 touchdowns. He also gets a lot of help from John Williams, who has 23 receptions for 308 yards and 5 touchdowns. The Tiger backfield is also very solid, with Harvey Allen having 110 rushes for 655 yards and 6 touchdowns, and Maurice Campbell with 55 rushes for 506 yards and 8 touchdowns. Fishers enters the game with a record of 7-1. They lost their first game in one of the biggest upsets back in Week 1, 27-24, to a Noblesville program that's been rather mediocre for the last decade. But the Tigers have been on a tear ever since, winning their last 7 games, having only 2 close ones in the process, those being against Westfield, currently the number 1 ranked team in 5A, and then against arch rival Avon. Those were the other victories were all by double digits, and at that we will pause for the national anthem. Well, thanks. We had a very nice solo rendition there of the national anthem. Usually, I think every game I've done this year up until now, it's always been the host school marching band playing it. So it's nice to hear a vocalist for a change. So tonight, like I said, is the last game of the regular season. We also have a full slate of other games here in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. Of course, there are 10 teams in the conference, so the entire 9-game regular season schedule is all intra-conference games. That is going to change at the end of the season with the 3 Tippecanoe County schools leaving. Elsewhere in the conference tonight, West Lafayette Harrison is at Noblesville. They're Raiders of Harrison trying to break a 34-game losing streak. Lafayette McCutcheon is at Hamilton Southeastern, Westfield is at Lafayette Jeff, and Zionsville is at Avon. Both of the head coaches of these schools are each is in his 8th season at his respective school. Brett Comer is 49 and 35 here at Brownsburg as well as overall. Fisher's head coach is one of the great living legends here in Indiana sports, Rick Wimmer, who's 61 and 30 here with the Tigers, as well as 225 and 113 in his 31st overall season. Wimmer is also one of only 5 head coaches to win a state championship with 2 schools. As I just said at the top of the broadcast, he did so here with Fishers back in 2010. He also did so with Zionsville all the way back in 1987. In between, he also had very successful head coaching stints at Merrillville and Greenwood. Ironically, Fishers is the only of those programs to which he has never led to an undefeated regular season, although that's a testament to how competitive the Hoosier Crossroads Conference is. And at that, we will take a short pause before the opening kickoff here as the 2 teams enter the field. So Fishers Brownsburg under the Friday Night Lights coming at you next. Right now at all Avon and Brownsburg McDonald's, you can check out the brand new Mighty Wings. They are hearty bone and chicken wings that are crispy and breaded with a spicy kick. Available in 3-piece, 5-piece, or 10 pieces. 3-piece only $2.99. Thanks to our friends at the Hendricks County Flyer that have helped make tonight's video webcast possible. Please check them out online as well as watch tonight's game at flyergroup.com. Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you were meant to move. We care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you love. Get more information online at mymotion360.org. At Bill Estes Ford, our number one goal is to save you time. Whether you are dealing with our service department, parts department, or new and pre-owned sales, our goal is to make sure you are a satisfied customer and that it's an easy process. Don't forget, you can have a complete oil change for just $19.95. Check them out online at BillEstisFord.com. Bill Estes Ford, soon to have a new look at 450 East Northfield Drive in Brownsburg. Call today at 852-2231. Well, back here at Brownsburg, we're getting set to kick off here between your Brownsburg Bulldogs and the host Fishers Tigers. Brownsburg entering the game at 3-5, Fishers at 7-1, and on a 7-game winning streak. The four captains from each team now come to the field for the coin toss and to shake hands. Meanwhile, let's look around the state at the current top 10. Number 1 is Penn, 8-0, who is at Mishawaka tonight. Number 2, Ben Davis, 6-2, who hosts Carmel. Number 3, Center Grove, 7-1, who tonight visits Cincinnati LaSalle in Ohio. Number 4, Carmel, who 6-2, who as I just said, is at Ben Davis. Number 5, surprisingly, Southport, having a one of the most pleasantly surprising seasons of the state this year at 8-0. They host Columbus North, who I called back in week 1. Number 6, Fishers, of course, obviously right here at Brownsburg. As I said, Fishers 7-1. Merrillville, one of Rick Wimmer's former teams, 7-1, hosts Chesterton today. Merrillville, like I said, 7-1. Warren Central out of the mighty Mick, 5-3, also playing a Cincinnati team today. They're hosting Cincinnati St. Xavier. Number 9, Pike, who is Brownsburg's first tournament opponent next week, is 4-4, and they're playing host to Lawrence Central, who is formerly the number 1 team this year, but now on a 5-game skid. And finally, number 10, Hamilton Southeastern, 6-2, and they are hosting Lafayette McCutcheon. So now we're set to kick off here. The Tigers are in formation. The Bulldogs will be kicking off to start the game. And let's see who they're gonna send out to kick it. It looks like it will be Brandon Dowers. So far in the year, he's kicked off 29 times for 1,319 yards, average of 45.5, 12 touchbacks. And the game is underway, and it looks like this is going to go all the way back for a touchback. It does, landing right about in the middle of the end zone. So our first, we'll get our first offensive look at the game at Fishers as they aim for their 8th consecutive win, like I said, after losing that opener 27-24 to Noblesville. They have been playing with a vengeance. And, sometimes I've noticed over my 35 years of watching sports, when a highly heralded team opens the season with a loss, it usually does one of two things. It either breaks them or it fires them up and gets them on a roll to correct their mistakes. And Fishers has obviously taken the latter approach to their credit. So now they open the game with an I formation. Christensen handing off, and we got a run up the middle for about 3 yards. That was number 21, Harvey Allen. He'll get about 3 yards there. And that'll bring up 2nd and about 7. So they're marking him 2nd and 7 at the 23. So Allen opening the offense here with a 3-yard run. So the Tigers now take formation. They have 2 running backs, then 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Christensen in shotgun. Takes the snap. Hands off again, and this time he's got a hole up the middle. That's, I believe that was Allen again. He's got the first down and more, about 10 yards up the middle. So Harvey Allen, 2 carries, and now about 13 yards. They are marking him down at the 33. Once again, this is a very much a rebuilding Bulldogs team that's really done a good job to go 3-5 with the kind of losses. It's hard for me to remember a high school team being hit hard this hard by graduation. So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Allen, the lone running back. Now Christensen with the first pass of the game. It's a screen out to Williams, and he catches the ball. Fights his way up on the left side to the 42. He's going to be just short of the first down. So Christensen does a good job, getting the defense to focus on Allen, and, he had Williams fairly well open there for the 9-yard reception. So now the Tigers take formation again. Actually, they're 2nd and 1 at the 42. One receiver at each side. Allen, the lone back. Allen gets the handoff. He's got the first down and more. Gets a little hole and weaves his way up to the 45 where he's brought down. So Allen rushed on 3 of the Tigers' 4 offensive plays so far and gotten 2 first downs in the process. 10:03 to go now here in the first quarter. No score at Brownsburg. And they're crediting Allen with 3 yards there, giving him 16 for the game. And now Allen gets it again, breaks a tackle there and weaves his way about up to the 50. And 9:47 to go now. So we'll see. They're marking it just shy of the 50, giving him credit for a 5-yard gain. So 4 rushes and 5 plays for Allen here on this opening drive. Harvey Allen is a senior, 5'10", 186. Looks to be a solid Division I prospect. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Allen, the lone back. Christensen in shotgun. Takes the snap. Looks to pass, and he does. He's got Williams on the right side of completion, who dodges his tackler and gets up to about the 48 of Brownsburg, so a short gain. Christensen having completed his first 2 passes, both to Williams. As the clock hits 9 minutes, and they're crediting Williams with 2 yards there on that gain, giving him 11 on 2 receptions. So now the Tigers still in huddle. Break the huddle now. Williams lines up to the right, as does Chase Buell. Harvey Allen, the lone back, this time Christensen under center. Hands off to Allen, breaks up the middle for about 5. He's going to be brought down at the 43. He will have a first down. No, I'm sorry, that was Maurice Campbell. Maurice Campbell with his first carry of the game. That'll be a first down at about the 43, 1st and 10 for the Tigers. They've had a very methodical drive. They're crediting Campbell with 6 yards there on that carry. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Christensen in shotgun. And now we got a flag here. And we got a rush up to the 31. It'll be a first down if it counts, but it could be coming back. That was Keyshawn Burrell. And, yeah, it is going to be coming back. He was lined up as a wide receiver to the right, then went in motion. And it's going to be backed up back into, well, no, not quite into Fisher's territory, but it's looks like they're going to mark it down at the 48, so it'll be a 5-yard penalty, bringing up 1st and 15. Illegal shift. It's 2 men moving at the same time. Glad they have these officials mic'd. Most of the officials at least that I've in the games I've called, have not been mic'd. They were at Lucas Oil Stadium when I was there back in week 4. So now we have Jayshun Harris, IU bound, lined out to the right. I believe that's Williams to the left, I formation. Christensen under center. Takes it. Hands off to Campbell. Runs into a wall, but it runs over to his left, and he's got some room. He gets up to about the 42. So it's a nice second effort by Campbell. Ran out of room, but found some space there on the left side of the field. So they're crediting him with 6. He also got 6 on his first as well. So far, the Tigers have rushed 6 times, 33 yards on the game, passed twice for 11. No spectacular plays, just slow methodical drive that's kept the clock and the chains moving. So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 2 running backs, Christensen in shotgun. Fakes a handoff, Throws over to Harris, screen pass. He gets it up to just shy of the 30, so that will be another first down. That's the first reception of the game for Jayshun Harris. And they're going to give him credit for just about 10 yards. Once again, Jayshun Harris on his way. He's committed to playing for Kevin Wilson down at IU. Wilson is slowly but steadily building a solid program there at long last. Looks like he's going to be their most successful coach since Bill Mallory. Still got to build a defense, but they've certainly made great strides on offense, not surprisingly since he was the OC at Oklahoma. So now Christensen takes it, fakes the handoff. He's got a man open up the middle. It's complete inside the 15, down almost to the 10. And who was that? So that was, who was that? That was Gino Castellani. And he's going to have about 21 yards there with 6:37 to go. The Tigers have used nearly half of this first quarter already. Yeah, they're going to give him credit for 21 yards on that. Christensen having completed now his first 4 passes of the game. And so now he's got I formation. Only one receiver out to the right. Handoff. He fakes handoff to Campbell. He's got a man open on the right, and he's going to be. Did he dive for the end zone? Did he get in? Yes, touchdown. And that was Castellani again. So 2 consecutive passes in a row to Castellani, and the Tigers get the first score and consumed nearly half of the quarter in doing so. 6:08 to go now in the first quarter. And now Alex Sahakian out to attempt the extra point. And I think he's the only Armenian American I've covered all season. So now Sahakian on the extra point. He is good. So just like that, the Tigers make it look easy with few clock stoppages. They drive down the field in plays of 21 yards or less, and they cap off a long drive with an 11-yard touchdown pass from Connor Christensen to Gino Castellani. And so at that, we will pause for a break, and we'll be back after these words from our sponsors on XRB Radio 1610 AM. Established in 1882 at Harris Bank and owned by BMO Financial Group since 1984, BMO Harris Bank has grown to become one of the largest banks in the Midwest, serving personal, commercial, and affluent customers. They are located at 610 West Northfield Drive in Brownsburg. For more information, call them at 852-2683. Well, back here at Brownsburg, we're set to kick off after Fishers has just gotten the first score of the game on an 11-yard pass from Connor Christensen to Gino Castellani, a drive on which the Tigers consumed 5 minutes and 52 seconds. And now Alex Sahakian coming off that extra point, ready to kick off for the Tigers. And he's having a very good season, and it looks like this one's going to be very close to the end zone. It's fielded right about the 5, bobbled, and carried up to about the 10, 15. Dodges a couple of tackles. It carries a man with him all the way up to the 23, so nice effort there on the return by the Tigers. That was number 83 for Brownsburg on the return. Vincent Lisman there. So I'll tell you, that drive could not have gotten much better for Fishers. Christensen was 5 for 5. They gained at least 3 yards on every play. They never got into 3rd and long, and they just kept moving the clock in the chains very slowly but surely. So now, first look at the offense for we've got a handoff there to Akron Abate, and he's without question the cornerstone of this otherwise struggling Brownsburg offense. Again, they were hit very hard by graduation. 7 of last year's players now in college ball, most notably Chase Dutra at IU. So now Akron Abate, they're crediting for 2 yards on the first play from scrimmage for Brownsburg. Hunter Johnson is in at quarterback. So now he looks like he kept it himself and took it over to the left side. And so that'll bring up 3rd and about 5 or so. I think they're going to give him about 3. 5:07 to go here in the first quarter. Fisher's leading 7-0. They're crediting him with 4. So that'll bring up 3rd and 4. Definitely a team with only one offensive weapon does not want to get into a 3rd and long, especially as good as Akron Abate is, when he's your only weapon, a defense as good as Fisher's can clamp down and keep him under control. So now get the first pass of the game, and it is overthrown there by Johnson. And so 3 and out there on the first drive for the Bulldogs here. His intended receiver was Isaiah Hightower, by the way. The Bulldogs have struggled all season long on offense. They only have 1 passing touchdown on the season, only 1 receiver with 100 yards so far through the season. But, the way Coach Comer develops talent, you can bet Brownsburg will be back with a vengeance after these guys have another year under their belts. So now the punt is fielded at about the 35. Brought up to the 40, 45, 50. He's found a hole. He could go all the way. 1 man to beat. 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Jay-Shun Harris. That's why he's headed to play for the Big Ten. 65-yard punt return with 4:21 to go. And the Tigers take an early 2-possession lead here at Brownsburg. Wow. He made it look easy. And so Jay-Shun Harris there, once again, 65-yard punt return. Now Alex Sahakian to come in for the extra point. And he's having an excellent year on both his field goals and on his kickoffs. And now, not sure what the delay is, but all the players are still standing. I did not see any flags. I don't think there are any. Now Sahakian takes a stance. His kick is up, and it is blocked. It is blocked. So the lead, nevertheless, is 13-0 for Fishers here at Brownsburg. And we head to our next commercial break with your Brownsburg Bulldogs trailing 13-0 in the last game of the regular season. 4:21 to go in the first quarter. We'll be back after this word from our sponsors. Running a little short on cash or got some collectible items around the house you don't need or want? Take them to Hendricks County Estate Buyers in Brownsburg. They buy gold, silver, coins, tools, electronics, and antiques. They specialize in one-piece or entire collections. If you have an estate or household liquidation, call them first. Ask for Justin at 317-286-3652 7 days a week. They're on the corner of Main and Odell in Brownsburg. Hendricks County Estate Buyers. We're back here at Brownsburg where the Fishers is ready to kick off again. That's Alex Sahakian. He's 1 for 2 on extra points tonight. His last one was blocked. Coming off that 65-yard punt return by IU-bound Jay-Shun Harris. It's another long one. It's going to get close to this one fielded at about the 8, brought up to the 20-25 before he's brought down. And so now Fishers, coming off that return by Vincent Lisman, about 17 yards, Brownsburg will be taking over at about the, let's see where they're marking him. Looked to me like he got up to about the 25. Maybe they're saying his knee was down earlier because it looks like they're marking him down at about the 22. So it's 4:17 to go now. I'll tell you, okay, though, there is a penalty. It's going to be against the Bulldogs, illegal block in the back. So A struggling offense like Brownsburg does not need to start in bad field position, but I mean, heck, that was the Achilles heel of Decatur Central last week, and they're one of the best offensive teams in the state. So now we got do we have a fumble? I could not tell from my vantage point. Waiting for the signal. It looks like okay, no, so they gave it to Akron Abate, who looks like he was stopped for no gain or maybe one. Akron Abate, though, to do what he's done as a freshman and then as a sophomore, you got to think he is going to end up being a big-time college prospect in 2 years. I mean, there aren't a heck of a lot of sophomores around the country who have 17 career touchdowns already. You can't say enough about this young man. So now Johnson, he's got a man open up the middle, and under double coverage, nearly made the catch. That was Michael Clayer. Nice effort there. Got his hands on it, just didn't get the grip. So Johnson in the early going is 0 for 2. So that'll bring up a dreaded 3rd and 9. I'll tell you, this reminds me a lot of the only time I ever called Fishers before, which was last year in the second round of the playoffs at Hamilton Southeastern. Although it was more dramatic then, the Tigers actually ran off just under 9 minutes. They ran off 8 minutes and 56 seconds on the opening drive, then held Hamilton Southeastern to 3 and out. That set the tone for the remainder of the game, and Fishers rolled 42-7. So now Johnson again, he rolls around to the right. He's got a man open, and this time he's got a completion out on the right side. But it looks like it's going to be, and Clayer, does have the first down. So it's good for the Bulldogs getting some offensive momentum going. They're going to give Clayer credit for, it looks like they're going to say he was, I think, pushed out at the 27, so that'll be a 13-yard gain for Michael Clayer. And so the Bulldogs get a first down for the first time in this game. And now they line up Akron Abate, the lone back, one receiver out to the left, one to the right. Fake to Akron Abate. They pitch back. Now he's got a man on the... could not tell who that was, but he got up to the left side for about 8 yards there. So that was Daniel Ferguson, who had made a shift over from the right side. So they're giving Ferguson credit for 8. And so now the Bulldogs, this is very good for this young team to get this kind of a drive going against really the number 6 ranked team in the state and a perennial powerhouse. So now he fumbled the snap. Did he get it back? Johnson fumbled the snap. So that's definitely he did get it back for maybe a loss of 1 there. So now that'll bring up 3rd and 3 following that 1-yard loss there on the keeper there, which is what it'll go down as after Hunter Johnson fumbled the snap. So now Akron Abate, the fake to Akron Abate. We got another rusher gets the ball. He's got a hole on the right side of the field down to the 40, down 35 up to the 30, and he's pushed out of bounds. Great fake. He faked it to Akron Abate and handed it off to Ferguson, who I didn't even see coming. So that'll go for a gain of about 33 yards. So now the Bulldogs offense showing, about as much life as they showed all year. Daniel Ferguson, a 5'10", 180-pound senior. He's not gotten a lot of carries this year, but he's, they're saying, okay, he made it all the way. So they're giving him credit for 36 on that play. So Daniel Ferguson, the surprise of the game, undoubtedly so far. Now Akron Abate finally gets another carry. And so they marking him down at about the 26. And I think expecting that Fishers is going to clamp down on Akron Abate, Brownsburg has had a smart game plan so far, which is, they've done several convincing fakes to Akron Abate that has drawn mass attention from the Fishers defense, which has opened holes for some other guys Daniel Ferguson on this drive, and then Michael Clayer also, who had a good reception and nearly made two. So that'll bring up 2nd and 7. Now, and it fakes the handoff. Hunter Johnson fumbled the snap, and so now he faked to Akron Abate. It looked like he was thinking about a keeper, but then he was hit, and then he dropped it, and it looks like, and Fishers has recovered. So a promising drive gone awry there by the Bulldogs. So now they're going to be counting on their defense to hold the line and get the ball back without surrendering any more points. Because now we've got Harris lined out to the right, Williams to the left, Christensen under center. So now calls the play. Now he fakes handoff to Campbell. He's got Harris open downfield, and he makes the catch. Oh, my God. He had to dive to get it, but he made it down at the 30, a gain of nearly 40 yards. And they're marking him down at the 32. I didn't think that he had much chance of that, but that shows that I really underestimated his speed. So Jayshon Harris there with a spectacular diving 37-yard reception. And Fishers is threatening to take a 3-possession lead. And, it's as if this hasn't been enough of a highlight reel game for him already with that 65-yard punt return for a touchdown. And now handoff to Campbell, who takes it up to the left 2 yards. Christensen, by the way, 6 for 6 already. As Campbell, I think, is going to get credit for 2 yards on that carry as the clock is winding down. 31 seconds to go now here in the quarter. And now the Tigers break huddle. They can just about let the time run out on the clock. There's just about a 1 second differential between the play, I almost said shot clock, between the play clock and the quarter clock. Now another handoff to Campbell. He's stuffed for a gain of just about 1 yard. And that will be the end of the first quarter. So we head to the second quarter here at Brownsburg with a score. The Fishers Tigers 13, your Brownsburg Bulldogs 0. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors on XRB Radio 1610 AM and AudioSportsOnline.com. Looking for an affordable option for a college degree? Take a look closer to home. Ivy Tech Community College's new campus in Crawfordsville is conveniently located off I-74, and it has the lowest tuition in the state. You can earn an associate degree in business entirely on the Crawford campus. The degree transfers to Western Governors University, and you can use Ivy Tech's computer lab to take your online courses. Registration for spring 2014 classes is now open. Now is the time. Visit ivytech.edu or call 888-IVY-LINE. Did you know Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg has been serving Hendricks County and the west side of Indianapolis with an extensive section of finer diamonds and gemstones since 1958? Nelson Jewelers is a family-owned jewelry store specializing in unique jewelry, jewelry repair, appraisals, and watch repair. Nelson Jewelers is conveniently located downtown Brownsburg across from the Hendricks County Bank. Visit Nelson Jewelers for all your jewelry needs at 22 East Main Street and online at nelsonjewelers.com. A little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary. Well, back here at Brownsburg, where we're set to kick off the second quarter with your Brownsburg Bulldogs trailing the visiting Fishers Tigers 13-0. The Tigers have scored touchdowns on a. I'll hold that thought till after this play. So now the Christensen lined up under shotgun. And I believe Maurice Campbell's the lone running back. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. So now Campbell gets it. He's got a straight line up the middle. And he breaks a couple of tackles and gets down to the 6 or 7. So a gain of about 21 yards. Okay. So anyway, that'll bring 11:53 to go here in the quarter, and that'll bring up 1st and goal now. So they're crediting Campbell with 21 And that'll bring up now I formation, Christensen under center, one receiver at each side. And now handoff to Campbell again. This time he fights his way up, but they're ready for him. He gets maybe a yard. So, but, Fisher's, one thing I've learned, from my 2 games, covering them, is once they get the lead, they are lethal when it comes to just keeping drives alive with small plays. I think they only had one play of over 20 yards in that game, in that 42-7 win last year in the playoffs over Hamilton Southeastern. They really just chose slow death for their opponent that night. So now, after the 1-yard gain by Campbell, then a fake to Campbell this time. This time Christensen's got Williams open in the end zone for the touchdown. So there's that 3-possession lead. And that puts the offensively very limited Bulldogs in a very deep hole with 10:46 to go here in the quarter. Christensen, a perfect 7 for 7 on the game so far. And now Sahakian on the extra point. It is good, so he's 2 of 3 tonight. So, just like that, just a little over a quarter into this game, Fishers has unleashed a 20-0 lead here on Brownsburg. And so now's the time where Coach Comer just has to really keep his team playing patiently, understand they can't get it all back at once, and just keep on doing the things that they've done well in this game so far, spread the offensive load around. They showed on that last drive that they can do it without Akron Abate going crazy and, attracting the attention to Akron Abate, but, letting guys like Ferguson have some action. And in fact, Hunter Johnson has proven to be a fairly solid rusher in his own right this season. So, they just need to, not rush anything and play a smart game and not get in any 3rd and long holes now. So now Sahakian with the kick. It's a deep kick. It is fielded by Lissman at the 10, and he fakes a handoff. And now he's got some running room, gets up to the 30 before he's brought down. So Christensen amazingly has completed his first 7 passes. I know even for a guy who's, there's so many variables in football, to complete that many in a row is quite a task. And like what we've seen usually, in most games for Fishers the last couple of years, there has not been a statistically dominant player. It's just been really spread around evenly, which makes these guys so dangerous. So now, fumble the snap again. And Hunter Johnson does get it back, but that is not a good way to start off the ensuing drive after that score. So that'll bring up, they'll count that as a loss of about 3. Yes, that'll be a 3-yard loss there by Hunter Johnson on that fumble on the snap. So now we've got Isaiah Hightower lined up to the left, and got another receiver to the right. Now this time we've got Akron Abate did get it that time. He got back up to the original line of scrimmage. So that'll be about a 3-yard gain. Akron Abate, 4 carries so far for 9 yards. So, he's obviously they Fishers came prepared to keep him contained. So far they've done that. Akron Abate, 6 feet tall, 195 pounds, and unquestionably one of the top, if not the top, sophomore running backs in the entire state. So now Johnson under center. He looks deep. He's got him, and it's Incomplete. It was intended for Hightower, so that'll bring up another dreaded 3rd and long. So now Johnson through the air, 1 for 4 now, with 9:11 to go here in the second quarter. And a very fast-paced game so far. Only 7:38. And so now we've got a punt, and it is up, and it's going to be fielded, and he muffs it, and I think Brownsburg has it. They do, unless they say it went out of bounds first. It was very close to the sideline. Yeah, I forgot about the fumble. So, that was 4th down when he threw the pass to Hightower. And now they're arguing over who has possession. And now they're saying it was Fisher's, so it must have bounced out. It must have hit the sideline. I could not tell from my vantage point. So Fisher's will take over with excellent field position. 9:03 to go, 20-0 lead. Chance to take that 3-possession lead. And the Bulldogs, on their possession before last, moved the ball very well, but and got down as far as the 27 before turning it over on that fumble by Johnson. So now Christensen with Williams lined up to the right. One running back, 2 receivers out to the left. Under center. Looks to throw. He does. He's got Harris on a short screen pass, who takes it up for a gain of about 6. So Christensen, 8 for 8 so far. And that's going to put him already over the 100-yard mark. And so Harris having a spectacular game already. 53 yards on 3 receptions, plus a 65-yard punt return for a touchdown. So now one running back, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And now Christensen fakes the handoff. He keeps it himself. He's got a first down and more. And he breaks 2 or 3 tackles, gets inside the 30 on his first rush of the game. He's going to get about 20 yards there. So with 8:13 to go, and they're going to mark him down at the 28, so that'll be a gain of 19 yards by Christensen on his first carry of the game. And so, yeah, Fisher's thoroughly in control so far. Again, this is a very young Brownsburg team, and you can bet they will be back with a vengeance after they've had a year to grow. So now a handoff there to I believe that's Campbell, and we got a flag there as he's brought down at about the line of scrimmage. He kept running right, looking for room, and just didn't find any. He was very well covered. But we'll see if the play counts. Referees. 4 or 5 officials in on the discussion. So we'll see here what happens here. And next week, the state tournament starts, and we will have more information. And this is going to be against Fishers, by the way. But we will have more information about that on the halftime, about the draw that each of these teams got. So it's coming back to the 38 now, so that's a 10-yard penalty against the Tigers with 7:42 here to go in the second quarter. Fishers leading 20-0. And they've dominated most of the way. So now Williams out to the right, Harris to the left. And we got one running back. I believe it's Campbell. Yes, it is. So Christensen now rolls to his left. He looks, he throws, and it's intercepted. Only the 5th interception of the season. All year he's brought down immediately, but that was Seth Bronger. He's a 6 foot, 180-pound junior. Boy, Christensen's such a fundamentally sound player. He makes few mistakes, but that he did there. That was not a good decision on his part. And Bronger takes the ball. He intercepts it at about the 28, brings it to about the 31. So huge break there for the and now there's even better news for the Brownsburg. For Brownsburg, there's a 15 yards tacked on to the end of the play because of a face mask penalty against Fishers. So now Brownsburg starts in good field position, which is especially important for them. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the Brownsburg 46. Brownsburg down 20-0, trying to get something going before the half. So now Akron Abate gets it, and he gets his first big run of the game. He breaks through. He's got a first down and a lot more, out to just about the 40. So, yeah, Christensen was 9 of 9 before throwing that interception there. And now, or 8 of 8, excuse me. But so they're giving Akron Abate credit now for 16 on that play. And now Johnson gives it to Akron Abate. He gives it back to Johnson, throws deep. He's got a man open near the end zone. Incomplete. And they want a flag. Doesn't get one. Yes, they do. Finally, a late flag. That was Michael Clayer. I'll tell you, after he got up from getting knocked down, he held out both of his hands as if to say, no flag, I can't believe it. But he finally did get one. Although that was one of the most delayed flags for apparently a pass interference penalty that I've ever seen. Again, in high school ball, it's not a spot foul as it is in college and the NFL, merely a 15-yarder. So that would, let's see, that would move the ball to about the 25, and it looks like that's where they are going to move it. In fact, it was a good play, since, like I said, Fishers has done a good job, clamping down on Akron Abate, so Johnson gave it to Akron Abate, who quickly pitched back to Johnson, who had a man open. I'll tell you, for a team that struggled with its passing, Johnson's not been shy about throwing deep tonight, to his credit. So now, handoff there to, could not tell who that was. He got up for about 1 yard, and we got a flag after the play. That was Lissman, the kick returner. 6:54 down to go, second quarter. Fishers 20, Brownsburg 0. But the Bulldogs are threatening to get their first score, and they do get the ball first to start the second half. So if they can, get a touchdown here, then they would have a chance to get the ball to start off the second half and then make it a one-possession game. And it's going to be against the Tigers, apparently, based on the movement of the teams. I have not seen the call yet. So Fishers hurting itself with penalties on this drive. The face mask coming off the interception, then the pass interference, and now I'm not sure what this is, but, the ball's being moved up to the 15, so I guess it was a holding. I would say hands to the face, okay, against Fishers. Hands to the face. So now that's basically 40 free yards. And an offensive struggling team like Brownsburg, they're thrilled to death with 40 free yards. So 6:49 to go. Handoff, fake to Akron Abate, and he gives it to Ferguson, and we got another flag there. Ferguson gets up for just about one, but it looks like I'm trying to see what the call is here. So that is the fourth penalty since that interception. And so 6:42 to go here, and this one is going to be against the Bulldogs. Well, I'll tell you, a legendary coach like Wimmer, I think he would be. That's going to, and it's holding, by the way, so that'll bring up 1st and 20 at the 24. But yeah, a coach like Wimmer, You don't get 225 wins and 2 state championships, without being a great fundamental coach. So definitely he'll be on the team about penalties, because that's mostly just fundamentals. So 6:26 to go now. Akron Abadi, their lone back. And now Johnson looks back to pass. He throws. He's got a completion there, a short pass on the left side at about the 22. So that'll be a gain of just a couple. And that is Parker Ellis for his first reception of the game. So that's Johnson now 2 for 5. And they're going to give him credit for 3 yards there on that reception, giving Johnson 16 passing yards on the game. So now Johnson fakes the handoff to Akron Abade. He rolls to his right. He looks. He's got a man, and it's nearly intercepted. He threw it into double coverage. I could not tell who nearly caught that. It was just slightly over his fingertips. So I was very lucky there. That wasn't a drive-killing play there. So 5:36 to go now. 3rd and 17. A dreaded 3rd and long, but at least this time the Bulldogs are deep in Fisher's territory. And so now the Bulldogs still in huddle. They're trying to get a score and then hold the Tigers the rest of the half. And now we've got a timeout there by the Bulldogs. So at that, we will pause for a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back after this on XRB Radio 1610 AM and audiosportsonline.com. What is a good neighbor? It's someone nearby who helps make your life a little easier. It's State Farm agent Pete Fay. He takes the time to understand your insurance and financial needs, so whether you're preparing for your child's education or planning for your retirement, get the kind of help you'd expect from a good neighbor. Visit State Farm agent Pete Fay at 431 East Northfield, Suite 100 in Brownsburg. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. When plumbing problems arise, do you want a plumbing company with an impressive trunk or fancy jingles? Of course not. You want your problem solved quickly and at an affordable price. At Westside Plumbing, we understand you want a plumber who is honest, respectful, and knows how to fix the problem. Westside Plumbing provides fast, professional plumbing service 7 days a week. When you invite Westside Plumbing into your home, be assured they will be knowledgeable, timely, and will give your home the respect it deserves. Honesty, integrity, and respect, that's what you get when you call Westside Plumbing, 445-8399. That's 445-8399. Westside Plumbing, serving Brownsburg and all of Hendricks County, 445-8399. Well, back here at Brownsburg, we're set to resume play, and there Johnson takes the snap into shotgun. He throws it to the end zone, and he's got a touchdown! So the Bulldogs finally get on the scoreboard here on a beautiful 21-yard pass from Hunter Johnson. Believe it or not, that's his first touchdown pass of the season. That was Isaiah Hightower there on the reception. So, what a huge monkey for Hunter Johnson to get off his back, as Dowers attempts the extra point now. And this snap. It's good to hold, and the kick is up, and it is good. So, finally, the Bulldogs show some signs of life there. They scored their first touchdown of the game, coming with 5 minutes and 32 seconds here in the first half. It comes on a 21-yard pass from Johnson to Isaiah Hightower. And so now that will make it 20-7 following the extra point there. And that's definitely a big momentum building play for the Bulldogs. They have not had much success. They've only completed about a third of their passes all season long. And like I said, a huge monkey to get off your back, and just in time for the playoffs, too. You know, you don't want to go, if you're a starting quarterback, you don't want to go into the playoffs without a touchdown pass on the season. So now Brandon Dowers coming off the extra point, set to kick off now. And looks like Maurice Campbell is going to be, Campbell is going to be back deep to receive for the Tigers. So Bulldogs, so definitely that brought some life back into this Brownsburg crowd. Now it's a mid-level kick. It hits in between 35 and 30. Did they get it? I'm waiting. Yes, they did. Yes. Wow, they really caught the Tigers asleep. They bounced, and I think the the Tigers had a mental lapse and thought it was a punt. It doesn't have to be an onside kick. You know, anytime a kickoff goes 10 yards, it is a live ball. A lot of times teams forget that. I saw that last year. Franklin did that to Plainfield. It's one thing, you really don't see anywhere other than high school ball. So it's part of the charm of high school ball. So now, and it just occurred to me, if the Bulldogs get a touchdown here and hold the Tigers out of the end zone for the rest of the half, they'll have a chance to tie or take the lead, amazingly, on the first possession of the second half. But we shall see. So Johnson fakes to Akronabade, throws into the end zone. He's got a man wide open, and it's got for the touchdown. Wow! What a sudden offensive explosion. I'll tell you, that's Michael Clayer there on the 29-yard reception. What are the odds of getting to the last game of the regular season without a touchdown pass and then throwing a touchdown pass on 2 consecutive plays? I think that's the first, at least in my more than third of a century of watching football. As now Dowers goes for the extra point. That was Michael Clayer there on the reception. Wow, what an amazing turn of events here. Dowers on the extra point is perfect. So 2 touchdowns in 11 seconds by Brownsburg, and they are back in this game. They are living up to their nickname, and they are fighting like Bulldogs here, following that sensational recovery on that mid-range kickoff. So Michael Clayer, having 2 receptions now. The first for 19 now, the last a touchdown for 29 yards by my count. So with 5:23 to go here. 5:23 to go. The Dowers is about to kick off again here. I wasn't sure. I couldn't tell from my vantage point if he had to recover the kickoff, but it turned out that he did. And now, once again, it looks like we've got Campbell back deep to receive. What kind of kickoff will we see this time? You never know. In high school ball, you really never know. I've seen several onside kicks in the first half in my only 2 years, and I think those are the first 2 of many. So now Dowers, this time he kicks deep, and it looks like it's going to go all the way. No, it's fielded by Campbell at the 2. He takes it up to the 10, 15, 20. He's got a hole in the middle, up to the 25, and he's going to be stopped at about the 26 or 27. Wow, though. It's hard, and it's easy to forget when Christensen threw that interception, they were in danger of taking a 4-touchdown lead, which, would be seemingly insurmountable for Brownsburg. So now they're marking Fisher's down at the 26. Connor Christensen now with one receiver to each side, one running back. Takes the ball, hands off to Campbell. He's got room. He breaks a tackle there at 35. Weaves his way up to about the 38 or 39, so that'll be a gain of around 12. But definitely the crowd has come back in. We have a great crowd of, probably the neighborhood of 3,500 here, including about 500 Fishers fans who made the probably 30, maybe 40-minute drive here under typical, rush hour traffic conditions. Probably closer to an hour, actually. So now 12-yard gain, 13-yard gain by Campbell, and so now one running back, two receivers to the right. Hand off to Campbell. This time he's brought down for a loss. They were waiting for him that time. So that'll be a loss of about 4 yards, bringing up about 2nd and 14, 4:35 to go. So that's now they're marking him at the. Oh, they're saying there was a. Okay, they're marking it at the 36, so that would be a 3-yard loss. Campbell 8 for 47 on the game, by the way, after that play. So now Campbell the lone back, one receiver to each side. Christensen under center. Takes the ball, hands off to Campbell again. This time he's got a big gain. He's up to the 45, and it dives his way up just shy of the 50. So that will be a first down. Making up for that 3-yard loss on the last play. Under 4 minutes to go in the half now. Fishers 20, Brownsburg 14, having scored 2 quick touchdowns after going down 20-0. So they're crediting Campbell with 14 on that play. He's 9 for 61 now. So now Jason Harris out to the right, Campbell the lone back. I believe it's John Williams lined up to the left. Hand off to Campbell again. He's got breaks through up the middle this time, and he's past the 40, brought down, but we have a flag. So we'll see if it counts or not. And, but, definitely Brownsburg's going to be going into that locker room with a much more positive attitude than they would have had this half ended just, 10 minutes ago. Momentum swings like that are priceless. I mean, it's something that you can't coach. It just, you have to take advantage of it and jump on it when it happens. That is going to be against the Tigers, by the way, so that'll back the ball up to the 47 of Fishers with 3:32 to go here in the first half. So it'll be 10 yards from the start, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st and 13 at the 47. So now we've got Williams to the left, Campbell the lone back, Harris to the right. No, I'm sorry, we got 2 running backs now. Now fake the handoff, and now Christensen throws up the middle, and it's nearly caught and then nearly intercepted. Williams, it bounced off the fingertips of Williams, and then Caleb Cooley nearly got it for the Bulldogs, but it fell to the ground incomplete. So now Christensen, after completing his first 8, then he's thrown 1 interception and 1 incompletion since. 2nd and 13, 3:12 to go. So now Christensen back in a shotgun with one receiver, one receiver to the right, two to the left. Fakes the handoff and keeps it himself. And he breaks several tackles, gets up to about the 45 of Brownsburg, but there is a flag with 3:04 to go here in the half. And no word yet about who it's against. Well, apparently it's against Fishers based on their body language. Holding against the Tigers. So that's 2 holding calls against Fishers on this drive. They have hurt themselves They have hurt themselves badly in this quarter with penalties, including 3 penalties on the first touchdown drive by the Bulldogs, and then 2 on this drive, both of them holding. Yeah, 5 penalties in a quarter. That will give a coach gray hair as the clock resumes. 2nd and 23 now with 3 minutes to go. 2nd and 23 definitely puts a lot of pressure on this offense, gives the Bulldogs an even better chance to go into the locker room trailing only by one possession. So now Christensen in shotgun, he takes it, drops back to pass, but then he runs and he's brought down. He's brought down at about the line of scrimmage. So that'll bring up 3rd and long. Brandon Weber with a nice stop there by the Bulldogs, 2:27 and counting. That'll bring up 3rd and 18. So Christensen now trying to lead his team to a scoring drive to get them back to that 2-possession lead that they had for a lot of the game until that sudden explosion by the Bulldogs. So now Christensen, screen pass over to Campbell, takes it up past the 40, and breaks a tackle at the 42, paws his way up to the 43 or 44, but he's going to be far short of the first down. So that will be, let's see how they're going to mark that. As Brownsburg takes a timeout to preserve the clock. And that will be an 8-yard pass, by the way, to Campbell there on Campbell's first reception of the game. So it's been a wild and woolly game so far. Brownsburg jumped out to a 20-0 lead early in the second quarter, but then the Bulldogs clawed their way back with 2 touchdowns about 10 seconds apart here in the middle of the second quarter. And we have a barn burner of a game going now as both of these teams prepare for their playoff openers next week. We'll be talking about that a lot more at the half. And so, as always, we want to thank Kelly Wagner, the athletic director here at Brownsburg, as well as Jim Snap, the superintendent. And now Brownsburg retakes the field, as apparently we are going to have a punt here by the Tigers. And wouldn't think they'd go for a fake at this time of the game, but we shall see. Got Devin Wathen back to return, and he fair catches it at the 26. I'm sorry, that was Brad Gillinger. And so 1:40 to go. The Bulldogs, I believe they have only one timeout left. But with 1:40 to go, I would think they would make an effort here. I don't think they'll I think if they tried to run out the clock, I think Fishers would use their timeouts since they have all 3. So I imagine that the Bulldogs will not merely be content to just run out the clock here. And now they hand it off. I believe that's Akron Abate there. Yes, and he's up there for about 4. So that'll bring up 2nd and about 6 there. And so now that they're crediting Akron Abate with 3 yards. And now Johnson drops back. He's got a completion up to Clayer. It'll be good for the first down at the 40. So Clayer now with his 3rd reception of the game, he has a touchdown to his credit. So the Johnson is really starting to come alive in this game after struggling all season, and now it's the perfect time to do it. This is their last game to tune up for the playoffs. 10-yard gain there. And now Tokes Akron Abate gets the ball, and he breaks through for probably his biggest game of the night. It's about 17 yards up to about the 42. So suddenly a lot of things starting to go right for the Bulldogs. They're marking him down at the 43, so a gain of 17 yards. Akron Abate now 7 carries, 46 yards. His 2nd double-digit carry of the night. So now Johnson in shotgun, he passes. He's got a completion out on the right side. He gets out of bounds just shy of the 30. And let's see who that was. That was Vincent Lisman. I believe that's his first reception of the game. And they're going to give him credit for 7 yards there. And now that's amazingly, Johnson completed 6 of 10 passes now. So now Johnson under center, fakes the handoff to Akron Abate, keeps it himself, and he's going to be brought down for a big loss. Huge momentum, a killing play, but we got a late flag. If it counts, it's going to be about an 8-yard loss there. The clock is, I don't know why the clock is still running. There is a flag down. It's now ticked under. We've had a good 10 seconds or so tick off the clock since they dropped the flag. Maybe it was a mistake. Oh well. 7-yard loss there by Johnson. Nevertheless, 16 seconds now. They have not taken their timeout. And now a pass completed there over on the left side to Devontae Allen. And so they do take their timeout left, their last timeout that they had left, but with 8.1 seconds left. So poor clock management there. I thought I saw a flag. Maybe it was just dropped by mistake. But anyway, nevertheless, that was a coming off that pass to Vincent Lisman. Hunter Johnson was sacked for a loss of 7 yards, and then he bounced back on the last play with a completion to Devontae Allen, who's the team's second leading rusher. That was Allen's first reception of the night. And then the Bulldogs used their last timeout, still with a slight chance to take the lead going into the locker room, and who would have believed that just a few minutes ago? So now, let's see, the ball is, it's going to be 3rd and 14, so that was a 3-yard completion there. So now under shotgun with Akron Rabati, the lone back. Johnson looks deep. He's got a man over on the right side. He makes the catch, and he gets out of bounds at the 10. 2.4 seconds to go. Wow. So Michael Clayer with a spectacular reception there under double coverage over on the far right side of the field. His 4th reception of the game. And so they're going to mark him down at the 11, so that will be a gain of 21. So now they're going for Dowers. They're sending out Dowers for a field goal. It'll be a 28-yarder. 2.4 seconds to go. It is up, and it is good. So a spectacular turn of events here at Brownsburg. The Fishers Tigers, the number 6 team in the state, 2010 state champions, jumped off to a 20-0 lead, but a sensational comeback by the Bulldogs in the last half of the quarter, and they head to the locker rooms down only 3 points, 2017. We'll be back here with the first half recap after some words from our sponsors right here on XRB Radio 1610 AM and AudioSportsOnline.com. Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg has something for everybody. Pizza with more toppings than you can count, including specialty pizzas. 5 different kinds of calzones. Breadsticks and cheese bread with 2 kinds of dipping sauce. All made in-house with Panuni's own hand-tossed dough. And don't forget Panuni's Jumbo Wings with 12 kinds of sauce. Mention the XRB radio and get 10% off your order. Open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday and Saturday, open till 11 p.m. Dine in, carry out, or free deliver. Call 286-3500, Panuni's Pizza and Wings, 1447 East Main in Brownsburg. Tune into xrbradio.com every Friday at 5:30 for the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show. Join Brian Scott for a full hour as he interviews coaches and student-athletes from Brownsburg and Avon High Schools. You can also watch the taping in person at a McDonald's near you every Wednesday night. Check out the McDonald's Hendricks County Coaches Show broadcast page on xrbradio.com or audiosportsonline.com for store locations. Right now at all Avon and Brownsburg McDonald's, you can check out the brand new Mighty Wings. They are hearty bone and chicken wings that are crispy and breaded with a spicy kick. Available in 3-piece, 5-piece, or 10 pieces. 3-piece only $2.99. Thanks to our friends at the Hendricks County Flyer that have helped make tonight's video webcast possible. Please check them out online as well as watch tonight's game at flyergroup.com. Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you are meant to move. We care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you love. Get more information online at motion360.org. At Bill Estes Ford, our number one goal is to save you time. Whether you are dealing with our service department, parts department, or new and pre-owned sales, our goal is to make sure you are a satisfied customer and that it's an easy process. Don't forget, you can have a complete oil change for just $19.95. Check them out online at BillEstesFord.com. Bill Estes Ford, soon to have a new look at 350 East Northfield Drive in Brownsburg. Call today at 852-2231. Established in 1882 at Harris Bank and owned by BMO Financial Group since 1984, BMO Harris Bank has grown to become one of the largest banks in the Midwest, serving personal, commercial, and affluent customers. They are located at 610 West Northfield Drive in Brownsburg. For more information, call them at 852-2683. Running a little short on cash or got some collectible items around the house you don't need or want? Take them to Hendricks County Estate Buyers in Brownsburg. They buy gold, silver, coins, tools, electronics, and antiques. They specialize in one-piece or entire collections. If you have an estate or household liquidation, call them first. Ask for Justin at 317-286-3652 7 days a week. They're on the corner of Main and Odell in Brownsburg. Hendricks County Estate Buyers. Looking for an affordable option for a college degree? Take a look closer to home. Ivy Tech Community College's new campus in Crawfordsville is conveniently located off of I-74, and it has the lowest tuition in the state. You can earn an associate degree in business entirely on the Crawfordsville campus. The degree transfers to Western Governors University, and you can use Ivy Tech's computer lab to take your online courses. Registration for spring 2014 classes is now open. Now is the time. Visit ivytech.edu or call 888-IVY-LINE. Did you know Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg has been serving Hendricks County and the west side of Indianapolis with an extensive selection of finer diamonds and gemstones since 1958? Nelson's Jewelers is a family-owned jewelry store specializing in unique jewelry, jewelry repair, appraisals, and watch repair. Nelson Jewelers is conveniently located in downtown Brownsburg across from the Hendricks County Bank. Visit Nelson Jewelers for all your jewelry needs at 22 East Main Street and online at nelsonjewelers.com. A little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary. What is a good neighbor? It's someone nearby who makes your life a little easier. It's State Farm agent Pete Fay. He takes the time to understand your insurance and financial needs. So whether you're preparing for your child's college education or planning for your retirement, get the kind of help you'd expect from a good neighbor. Visit State Farm agent Pete Fay at 431 East Northfield, Suite 100 in Brownsburg. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. When plumbing problems arise, do you want a plumbing company with an impressive truck or fancy jingles? Of course not. You want your problem solved quickly and at an affordable price. At Westside Plumbing, we understand you want a plumber who is honest, respectful, and knows how to fix the problem. Westside Plumbing provides fast, professional plumbing service 7 days a week. When you invite Westside Plumbing into your home, be assured that they will be knowledgeable, timely, and will give your home the respect it deserves. Honesty, integrity, and respect, that's what you get when you call Westside Plumbing. 445-8399, that's 445-8399. Westside Plumbing, serving Brownsburg and all of Hendricks County, 445-8399. Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg has something for everybody, and you don't even have to leave home. Call 286-3500 for free delivery to Pittsboro, Claremont, North Avon, and all of Brownsburg. Specialty pizza, calzones, breadsticks, and cheese bread, all made in-house with Panuni's own hand-tossed dough, not to mention Panuni's jumbo wings. Tell them you heard it from XRB and get 10% off your order. Check out their Facebook page for specials. Open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday and Saturday, open till 11 p.m. Locally owned, Panuni's Pizza and Wings on 1447 East Main in Brownsburg. Tune into xrbradio.com every Friday at 5:30 for the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show. Join Brian Scott for a full hour as he interviews coaches and student athletes from Brownsburg and Avon High Schools. You can also watch the taping in person at a McDonald's near you every Wednesday night. Check out the McDonald's Hendricks County Coaches Show broadcast page on xrbradio.com or audiosportsonline.com for more locations. Well, back here at Brownsburg, we're at halftime in a surprisingly barn burner of a game. Your Fishers Tigers are leading the host Bulldogs 20-17, but that's only part of the story. Fishers entered the game 7-1 on a 7-game winning streak, while Brownsburg, in rebuilding mode, entered at 3-5, with their only 3 wins coming against the bottom 3 teams in the conference: Harrison, Lafayette, Jeff, and McCutcheon. And it looked like looked like Fishers was going to run away with it in grand style as they jumped off to a 20-17 lead before Brownsburg came back to cut it to a field goal at the halftime on the last play of the half. So a quick scoring recap: with 6:08 to go in the first half, Gino Castellani caught an 11-yard touchdown pass from Connor Christensen. Alex Sahakian's kick made it 7-0. Then with 4:21 to go in the quarter, Jason Harris returned a punt 65 yards for a touchdown. Sahakian's kick was blocked, making the score 13-0. Then early in the second quarter, John Williams caught a 6-yard touchdown pass from Connor Christensen. Sahakian's kick was good, making the score 20-0. But then that's when everything started to change. With 5:33 to go in the with 5:32 to go in the half, Hunter Johnson completed his first touchdown pass of the season to Isaiah Hightower. Brandon Dowers kicked the extra point to cut the lead to 27. Then on a mid-range kick that was mistakenly treated by Fishers as a punt, Brownsburg recovered, and on the first play of the ensuing drive, Johnson passed for a second touchdown pass in as many plays to Michael Clayer, 29 yards, and Dowers' kick made it 20-14. And then finally, on the last play of the first half, Brandon Dowers kicked a 28-yard field goal, bringing us to our current score of 20-17. Individually, first for the Fishers Tigers, who have a 2017 lead. Connor Christensen has completed 9 of 11 passes for 110 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Jason Harris has 3 receptions for 53 yards. John Williams, 3 for 17 yards, including 1 touchdown. Gino Castellani, 2 for 32, including 1 touchdown, and Maurice Campbell, 1 for 8. On rushing, Maurice Campbell has 9 carries for 61 yards, and Harvey Allen, 4 for 21 yards, while Christensen has 2 rushes for 23 yards. Now for your Brownsburg Bulldogs. Hunter Johnson is having a surprisingly good game. He's after throwing no touchdown passes all season, he's thrown 2 tonight, amazingly, on consecutive plays. And his leading receiver tonight is Michael Clayer, who has 4 receptions for 63 yards. Parker Gillis has 1 for 3 yards. Isaiah Hightower, 1 for 21 yards, including that touchdown. And Clayer has a touchdown, too, forgot to mention. Vincent Lisman, 1 for 7. And Devontae Allen, 1 for 3. So all in all, Johnson has completed 8 of 12 passes for 97 yards and 2 touchdowns, entering the game with no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And then for rushing, Tokes Akronabade has 7 rushes for 47 yards Johnson has 3 for -7. That includes some sacks. And then finally, Daniel Ferguson has 2 for 44. And, I said at the top of the broadcast that Brownsburg enters the game with a nearly 3-to-1 pass ratio as opposed to Fisher's, who's right around 1.5-to-1. And yet, so far in this game tonight, Brownsburg has 14 rushes and 12 passes. I thought if they were forced to the air, they were doomed, but their passing offense has finally come alive tonight. And we'll see if they can keep it up in the second half. You can bet that Coach Wimmer for Fisher will make some adjustments to clamp down on the passing game, but then that could very well open some doors for Akron Abate, who was not at all stopped by any means. He did get 46 yards on 7 carries, but certainly they kept him from going crazy. And now with 8:47 to go on the halftime clock, I'm going to take a quick chug of my soda here, and then I will get back to you in about 5 seconds with a playoff preview. Okay, thank you. I feel much better now. And thing is, I don't have the luxury of taking a commercial break because, as you might have noticed, I'm doing all the commercials tonight. So, anyway, next week begins the IHSAA's 41st annual high school football tournament. And this year we have a record 322 teams playing for a record 6 state championships. This year, Indiana has moved from the traditional 5 classes to 6. And both Brownsburg and Fishers are in Class 6A. There are 32 teams in Class 6A. It's all based on enrollment, by the way. Then 34 teams in Class 5A. Now, this means that the sectionals in all of Class 6A and most of Class 5A will only be 4 teams. There will be 2 sectionals in Class 5A with 5 teams, meaning that 2 teams will not get a first-round bye. Now the Class 6A sectionals start next week, and so a team would have to win only 5 games to win a state championship rather than 6, which was the case for most teams last year. And there will be 1 round of the tournament played each week until the weekend before Thanksgiving, in which the final 2 teams in Class 6A will get a bye before playing for the state championship the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend over at Lucas Oil Stadium. In Class 5A, all but 4 teams will get a bye next week, and then the schedule will go as usual the rest of the way. And then the lower 4 classes, there are 64 teams in each class, so it's very simple. A 6-week tournament in which nobody gets a first-round bye. Now, your Brownsburg Bulldogs will be playing next week at Pike, who is currently 4-4. Although keep in mind that Pike plays in the mighty Metropolitan Interscholastic Conference, the mighty MIC, which is not only by far the best conference in the state, the Hoosier Crossroads Conference here probably being number 2, but USA Today just 2 or 3 years ago ranked the MIC as the number 1 conference in the country. Of course, that's the conference with Center Grove, Ben Davis, Warren Central, Lawrence Central, basically teams that combine to win about 5 out of every 6 state championships. But of course, Fishers here in the Hoosier Crossroads did win it back in 2010. And so when you see Pike is 4-4, 4-4 in the MIC is the equivalent of 8-0 in most conferences in the state, and that is not an exaggeration. I mean, that is how good the MIC is. And so, if you've ever seen Carmel or Center Grove or any of those bad boys play, that it's almost like watching a college team. So Brownsburg, certainly the way they've shown tonight, they can play with the big boys. I mean, they're giving the number 6 team in the state a run for the money right now. But that will be a tough matchup next week there at Pike. Pike, for those of you who don't know, it's located on the northwest side of Indianapolis. Just go up to West 71st Street. You can find it easily on 465, I believe, exit 21, and near you can pretty well see it from the exit. And hopefully we'll have good weather. I checked the 7-day forecast on weather.com. It's supposed to be 50 degrees for the high, which isn't too terribly bad. It's just, wear a coat and, and then there, and the Avon also going on the team, the Davis state title and more score. If beat Pike the road, in Davis, really, that'd be awesome if I got to cover game at Ben Davis. I have attended a game or two there, including Brownsburg in the playoffs, I think 2 years ago, which was my last year, hopefully the last year of my life as a non-commentator. I don't think I could ever go back to just watching football as a fan after this. And then as for Fishers, they're in Sectional 4, and they will have a chance to get sweet visit the Noblesville Millers, the team that handed Fishers their only loss of the season, 27-24, in that shocking upset in the opener. Noblesville actually climbed into the rankings because of that, but have cooled off since. The game looks like an aberration now. And then on the other side of the bracket, Carmel, also from the mighty Mick, will play Hamilton Southeastern, a cross-county rivalry there. And Fishers will, if Fishers does win, they will play on the road regardless of, in the sectional championship, regardless of whether Carmel or Hamilton Southeastern wins. And mentioning Carmel and Hamilton Southeastern as intra-county rivals, it reminds me of a development that I alluded to earlier in the broadcast, that the Hoosier Crossroads will look quite a bit differently next year as the three Tippecanoe County schools are leaving the conference. That is Lafayette Jeff, Lafayette McCutcheon, and West Lafayette Harrison. Last time I checked, which was just a week or two ago, those teams have not been replaced. And the last few years here in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference, because there have been 10 teams in a 9-game regular season, everybody's played everybody, so that's really limited, in fact, eliminated non-conference scheduling. And the attendance, the road attendance when the Indy area teams have played the Tippecanoe County teams and vice versa has been very poor. I called 2 Zionsville games up there this year, one at McCutcheon, the other at Harrison, and both times I would say they had maybe at most 100 fans there, whereas, likely they would have 500 or more, if it were somewhere in the Indy metro area. I mean, like I said, we have probably 500 or more Fishers fans here tonight, and that's probably a solid 35-mile drive from northeast of Indy. And this will also open the door for, some non-conference scheduling, which will create, hopefully some good geographic rivalries. We see that, with independent teams and teams that have the option of scheduling 2 or 3 non-conference games a year. Like, for example, I've covered 5 Decatur Central games this year. They're in the mid-state conference with only 7 teams, and they have a lot of flexibility. Like, they've been scheduling Roncalli, which is their a natural geographic neighbor, as they're both there on the south side of Indianapolis. And they have a great, they had a really great game last week, and the latest of many in that rivalry going back several years. Another one that really few people know about, but it's worth mentioning, Speedway versus Cardinal Ritter, 2 teams there, just a mile or 2 apart. And I don't know what class they're in this year. Last year they were both Class 2A. But when they would play each other, they would get, easily 5,000 or more there. And those are lower division schools, and it was just such an intense rivalry. So it would be great to see, for example, Carmel start scheduling Fishers or Hamilton Southeastern, try to be the kings of Hamilton County up there. And so it's going to be a very positive thing, and it will also enable those 3 Tippecanoe County teams to be much more competitive. So far, coming into tonight, they have a total of 4 wins on the season, and 3 were against each other. And poor Harrison, in the midst of that 34-game losing streak, they have been more competitive. Their margin of loss is actually, last I checked, it had gone down from 35 to 23, but they will have a chance to be much more competitive now in this conference. And, and I'll tell you, to me, there's a big difference between seeing college and pro teams have long losing streaks and high school kids, do it. I mean, when Prairie View A&M in college football had that 80-game losing streak back in the 90s, I just thought it was hilarious. But, when I hear about, like, I remember when poor Edinburgh had that, 52-game overall losing streak. In fact, actually, it was a 68. It actually would have been 68, but they had a forfeit in there that they were awarded. But they lost 52 officially overall, 68 on the field. I just really felt for those kids. Now they finally, they've gotten into respectability. They've actually have 11 wins the last 3 years, which is a Carmel or Ben Davis type streak by Edinburgh standards. So anyway, at that we have 1:44 left here on the halftime clock, and we will pause for a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with what's sure to be a thrilling second half right after this. Once again, your score here at Brownsburg, Fishers 20, Brownsburg 17. We'll be back on XRB Radio 1610 AM and audiosportsonline.com. Right now at all Avon and Brownsburg McDonald's, you can check out the brand new Mighty Wings. They are hearty bone-in chicken wings that are crispy and breaded with a spicy kick. Available in 3-piece, 5-piece, or 10 pieces. 3-piece only $2.99. Thanks to our friends at the Hendricks County Flyer that have helped make tonight's video webcast possible. Please check them out online as well as watch tonight's game at flyergroup.com. Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you were meant to move. We care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you love. Get more information online at mymotion360.org. At Bill Estes Ford, our number one goal is to save you time. Whether you are dealing with our service department, parts department, or new and pre-owned sales, our goal is to make sure you are a satisfied customer and that it's an easy process. Don't forget, you can have a complete oil change for just $19.99. Check them out online at BillEstesFord.com. Bill Estes Ford, soon to have a new look at 450 East Northfield Drive in Brownsburg. Call today at 852-2231. Established in 1882 at Harris Bank, established in 1882 as Harris Bank and owned by BMO Financial Group since 1984, BMO Harris Bank has grown to become one of the largest banks in the Midwest, serving personal, commercial, and affluent customers. They are located at 610 West Northfield Drive in Brownsburg. For more information, call them at 852-2683. Running a little short on cash or got some collectible items around the house you don't need or want? Take them to Hendricks County Estate Buyers in Brownsburg. They buy gold, silver, coins, tools, electronics, and antiques. They specialize in one-piece or entire collections. If you have an estate or household liquidation, call them first. Ask for Justin at 317-286-3652 7 days a week. They're on the corner of Main and Odell in Brownsburg, Hendricks County Estate Buyers. Looking for an affordable option for a college degree? Take a look closer to home. Ivy Tech Community College's new campus in Crawfordsville is conveniently located off I-74, and it has the lowest tuition in the state. You can earn an associate degree in business entirely on the Crawfordsville campus. The degree transfers to Western Governors University, and you can use Ivy Tech's computer lab to take your online courses. Registration for spring 2014 classes is now open. Now is the time. Ivy Tech is the place. Visit ivytech.edu or call 888-IVY-LINE. Well, back here at Brownsburg, we're set to start the second half here. Alex Sahakian will be kicking off for Fishers as they cling to a 2017 lead, as Brownsburg has scored the last 17 points, all coming in the last half of the second quarter. And the Bulldogs trying to get their suddenly rejuvenated passing game, trying to keep it going and open up some doors for the rushing game as well. So the Sahakian's kicks fielded at about the 6. It's brought up, and now a fake handoff to Clayer, who gets it up to about the 20. 11:52 to go now, and Bulldogs, I never thought I'd be saying this, but the Bulldogs have a ball with a chance to take the lead. And now they have a lot of options. Like I said, the first half, 14 rushes, 12 passes. It's amazing that they've been that they've had that kind of balance, which is really quite different than what we've seen from them all season. So now they take formation. Johnson still at quarterback. Akron Abate, the lone running back. One receiver to each side. And Akron Abate gets it, and he is stuffed for just about, I think he got just to the line of scrimmage, but we will see. So they were ready for him that time. Yeah, they're marking him down right at the line of scrimmage, giving him 8 for 46. And now we have Isaiah Hightower checking out of the game, replaced by Parker Ellis. So now Clayer lines up to the right, Ellis to the left, Akron Abate, the lone running back. Johnson to Akron Abate. This time he's got a hole, and he dodges a couple of attackers and gets up for about 7 or 8. 11:06 to go. That'll bring up 3rd and short. It's a good momentum-building play. They did not need another 3rd and long. So Akron Abate, 8 yards there. And so he's had he had 2 or 3 double-digit gains there in the first half. He started to get into stride after a slow start. So now Clayer to the right, Ellis to the left, Akron Abate, the lone back. And now we got movement on both sides of the line, and we got a flag here with 10:28 to go. Could not tell who moved first, but the officials are discussing it. It was a very short conference, so it is going to be against the Bulldogs. That is a very hurtful play, turning 3rd and 2 into 3rd and 7. So that definitely hurts their chances of advancing on this drive, keeping the drive alive, because they do not want to give Fishers the ball back with a chance to take the lead. So now Hightower to the right, Clayer to the left, and Lisman in the slot left. Akron Abate, the lone running back. Johnson takes it in shotgun. He throws and it's incomplete. That was, I believe, that was Ellis, the intended receiver. Yes, Parker Ellis. No, excuse me, that was, I'm sorry, that wasn't 83, that was 33, Daniel Ferguson. So a disappointing 3 and out to start the second half for the Bulldogs. Now they will be counting on their defense to hold the line. So 10:09 to go here in the second quarter. Nathan Ramsey set to punt for the Bulldogs. We have 2 receivers parallel to me at the Brownsburg 45 set to receive. That's and it bounces out at around the 35 or so. That was Harris and Campbell, who were back deep to receive. Of course, Harris, I'm sure they're not going to kick to him after that 65-yard punt return for the touchdown he had in the first half. So now we get our first look of the second half at the Fishers offense. They take over with 10:03 to go, trying to up the lead back to 2 possessions, which they will do with a touchdown. So now we've got Williams lined up to the left, Christensen under center, 1 running back. Harris lined up to the left. Have another okay. They're lined up in the slot left. We have that's Chase Buell. So now Christensen is looking to his left, and it looks like he's calling a play here. Takes the snap, hands off to Campbell, who takes it over to the right, and he's going to be brought down for a gain of just about 1. So good starts for the Brownsburg defense, and who we're seeing for the first time in the half. So 2nd and 9 for the Tigers. And John Williams now out to the left. One running back. And one wide receiver to the right. And off to Campbell. He fumbles. He gets it back. The Brownsburg defense was all on top of it, so they've got the Tigers right where they want them. 3rd and long. So they're one play away from getting the ball back. So the last, so Campbell now with a gain of 1 and now a loss of 3. So now 3rd and 8:46 to go and counting here in the third quarter. Fisher's 20, Brownsburg 17. Fisher's ranked 6th in the state on a 7-game winning streak. Browns 5. To the one to the left, one running back. Christensen at shotgun. Screen pass completed over to Campbell, and he's going to be brought down for a loss. So it looks like the Bulldogs will have achieved their goal of holding the Tigers to 3 and out on that 2-yard loss there by Maurice Campbell on the screen pass. Christensen 11 of 13 on the game in passing, though. That was Campbell's 2nd reception of the game. They're saying it was a 1-yard loss, excuse me. So now punt nearly blocked. It bounces about 37, takes a nice Fisher's bounce, and it's up to the 26 now where it's down. So that will be a punt of 33 yards there. 7:44 to go, and we'll get our second look of the half at the Brownsburg offense. Very well might have had a nice drive going had it not been for that costly offsides penalty. So now they line up Akron Abate, the lone running back again. One receiver out to each side. And now we got Ferguson in motion in the backfield. They faked it to Ferguson and they give it to Akron Abate. Akron Abate up the middle for about 2. 7:34 and counting to go. And they're marking him down at the 28. So that will be they're saying it's 2nd and 9 now. So Akron Abate so far has been pretty well contained here in this half after having a semi-breakthrough there in the second quarter. So now same formation. Clayer out to the left, and now a handoff to, I believe that was, is that Ferguson? He takes it up past the 35. No, I'm sorry, that was Ellis. Ellis on his first rush of the game. And he's going to be very close to a first down. I believe it is going to be a first down. So, well, they haven't, oh yeah, they're just moving, yeah, they just moved the chain, so it is a first down there. On that nice 9-yard run there by Parker Ellis. 6:46 to go now. And now a handoff, take the handoff to Akron Abate, pitch back now to Ellis again, who gets about 5 over on the left side. No, I'm sorry. That's not. That's Vincent Lissman. Excuse me, Vincent Lissman. And so there's got a mental block where I have him and Ellis confused, but nevertheless, that's 2 nice runs in a row by Lissman, and of 9 and 4 yards. Lissman primarily a wide receiver, but he's had a couple of nice rushes here to start off this drive. So now Johnson goes to the air. He's got Clayer, who makes the catch at about the 45. He did take a little step back. I'm not sure we'll give him forward progress up to. It'll be 3rd and short. They're marking him at the 44. Hunter Johnson completed 8 of 12 passes in the completed 8 of 12 passes in the first half, which, and he's about a 33% passer on the season, so that's a big boost of confidence for him. Now we're up to 3rd and 2 following that 4-yard pass to Clayer. Clayer, by the way, has 5 receptions on the night, and then 4 other Bulldogs, 1 each. So now Clayer still to the right. Handoff, fake the handoff. No, Akron Abate did get it this time. I think he got the first down and maybe a yard more. So 5:06 to go. It is a first down, yes. So Akron Abate now. Akron Abate, I think he's been on every offensive play in this game. He has not gotten a break. They've been moving in wide receivers. But yeah, so they give Akron Abate credit for 3. So now 1 receiver at each side. Akron Abate, the lone running back. And this time he gets it. And only a gain of maybe 2 with 4:43 to go here. And bring up the other Abate yards. Just under 5 a carry. He averages a little over 6 a carry on the season. And which is a great average for a fullback. And keep in mind, he's only a sophomore. How exciting it has to be, as a Brownsburg fan, to think you're going to have this guy 2 more years. So now pitch back over on the left side. He takes it. He's got a first down. Gain of about 12. That was Vincent Listman again. Sorry for the middle block, but 4:01 to go, and they're going to give Listman credit for looks like 11 yards and a first down, or 12 yards, excuse me. So Listman now 3 carries on this drive. His first 3 carries of the game, 25 yards. He also has a reception in the first half, and it looks like Johnson's passing success in the first half has really opened some doors for the Bulldog rushers here in the second half. So now handoff to Akron Abate. He plows his way forward for 2 or 3. And one thing the Bulldogs have mostly done in this game is avoid the 3rd and long. 3:38 to go. There's an illegal shift against the. So two men in motion at the same time without resetting. But last year when I saw that Fishers Hamilton Southeastern game, Hamilton Southeastern got in so many 3rd and longs. They were a little bit better of a passing team than is Brownsburg. In fact, they had and still have Cameron Polk, who's committed to play for Louisville, who's back to being a top 10 program. But they didn't really have a top-flight quarterback, and, they had a hard time once they got down. So now fake handoff to Akron Abate. Johnson throws and is nearly intercepted there. It was tipped by Akron. It was he after faking the handoff to Akron Abate, threw a screen pass to him. It was just off his fingertips and then tipped and nearly intercepted there. There's a bullet that the Bulldogs dodged. Nevertheless, 10 for 14 through the air tonight for Hunter Johnson. It should be noted, Johnson, I neglected to mention so far, is only a freshman, so, definitely it's very rare you see a freshman starting for a varsity team, especially at this level. So now Johnson fakes the handoff. He goes deep. He's got Clayer. Oh, he just missed it. He had both hands on it, too, just didn't get the grip. So that'll bring up 3rd and 15. A rare 3rd and long for the Bulldogs tonight, and a crucial play. They don't want to have to put the pressure back on their defense. Now as Clayer checks out of the game, replaced by Isaiah Hightower. Hightower did have a touchdown reception there, the first of the 2 touchdowns for Brownsburg in the second quarter. So now, and now we got a flag before a snap is made. 3:23 to go. We'll see. The officials are discussing it. It's a dead ball foul. Encroachment against the defense. So that'll be 5 free yards for the Bulldogs. Five free yards for the Bulldogs. And now it's a very fast-paced. It's hard to believe. We've already played nearly 9 minutes here in the second half. It's not even 9 o'clock yet, 8:53 by my watch. Fast-paced game. So Akron Abate, the lone running back, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Johnson, screen pass is caught. No, they're saying he didn't get it. I could have sworn he got it. It looked to me like Hightower. He had to get down, but I really thought he got it. Unfortunately, we don't have the Jumbotron here. So that will go down as 3 consecutive incompletions there for Hunter Johnson. But yeah, when you have a starting quarterback who's a freshman and a sensational running back who's a sophomore, you can bet these next 2 years we're going to have a much improved, offense here. As now, are they going for a field goal? I can't imagine they're going to go for a 58-yard field goal by Dowers. Maybe they're just trying to draw them off sides. I have never seen anywhere close to this. I don't think I've seen more than maybe a 43-yarder attempted ever in my 2 years of commentary. Now we've got several coaches for Brownsburg on the field now. I'm not sure what's going on here. One of them talking to one of the officials. But, I don't know. I know Dowers, I think Dowers is, let me check his statistics here. I know that he's a good kicker, but I don't think he has, I'm trying to figure out, there's somebody, people keep saying you can't do that. I am not sure what they're talking about. Brandon Dowers is 5 of 7 on the season. His long is 47, which is actually a very good. 47 is very good for a high school kicker. But, he's going for a 58-yarder. Now, to put this in perspective, the NFL record is 63 yards. So this is 5 short, only 5 shy of the NFL record. So, if he makes this, that'll be quite an amazing accomplishment. I don't know what the Indiana State record is, but I can't imagine that it's, I just took for granted they were going to punt. This would tie the game in the unlikely event that he makes it. 63 yards, by the way. The record is shared by Tom Dempsey, Jason Elam, Sebastian Janikowski, and David Akers. So, now it looks like they're going to do it. He's in motion. The snap is good. It's a long kick. It's going to be very close, and it is just short. A valiant effort. Coach Comer showing great confidence in this young man, turning him loose for a 58-yard field goal. It probably would have gone from 5 yards closer. So he definitely, has a heck of a leg. Okay. And I just learned that they will get it at the because of the I didn't even know that was a rule, but they will get it at the 20. In the NFL they would have gotten it back, not at where the line of scrimmage was, but where he kicked the ball, which was the 48. So okay, that makes sense then. But heck of a leg he has though. Dowers is a senior, 6 foot 190. So now Christensen fakes the handoff to Campbell. Screen pass, it's tipped, and it is nearly intercepted. Pass was intended for who was that? Brad Free, who is not. I think that's the first one thrown at him all game. I believe that's only the third. Only the third incompletion for Christensen all game. I'll tell you, there's another high school. I'll hold that thought. So now John Williams lined up to the right. Maurice Campbell, the lone running back. I believe Jason Harris is lined up to their right. I cannot tell for sure from my vantage point. So now handoff to Campbell, and he's stuffed, and he's brought down for a loss. So, yeah, they've gotten Campbell for a couple of losses now. So that'll bring up 3rd and long. Still no score here in the second half. 2:35 to go and counting here in the third quarter. So they're going to give Campbell credit for -3 on that play. $12 for 54 now, and even 4.5 a carry. So now Williams lined up to the far left, and so now Christensen drops pass. He throws. He's got Williams wide open, and he makes the catch, and he could go all the way, one man to beat. 25, 20, 15, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 11. Spectacular catch by John Williams. Oh my God, what a momentum building play. The Fishers fans come alive and the Brownsburg fans go silent. That's going to be about a 72-yard play there. Unbelievable. John Williams went deep, and the timing was absolutely perfect. There is a flag, though. And it is so the play is going to count. I did not catch what the penalty was, but nevertheless, one of the most spectacular catches I've ever seen in a high school game. And along with the one that Harris made earlier, those were a couple of dandies. So Christensen closing in on 200 yards now. He has 181, 11 for 14, 2 touchdowns. So now he takes the ball, hands off to Campbell, who's got a hole up the middle. He's inside the 5, close to the goal line. Did he get in? Looks like he's going to be just about a yard short. But Campbell, nevertheless, it was a good gain for him after being stuffed the last on most of his recent attempts. So they're going to mark him down at their 2nd and 1, so that'll be a gain of 9 yards. Now hand off to Campbell again, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. So there's that 2-possession lead I talked about. So Fishers can breathe a little easier now. 26-17 now with the extra point pending on a 3-yard touchdown rush by Maurice Campbell. He's now 14 for 71 as Alex Sahakian comes out to attempt the extra point. 1:25 to go. The kick is up, and it is good. So a 3-yard rush by Maurice Campbell, set up by a sensational 72-yard pass from Christensen to John Williams. And just like that, the score is 27-17. Amazingly, it took 27. It took nearly a full quarter of the second half to get a score after we had 37 points there in the first half. So now be a test of the Brownsburg offense. Will they claw back again? They're a very young team, especially with a freshman quarterback and a sophomore star running back. And Sahakian sets the ball on the tee for the kickoff. And it's a deep kick. It's going to be very close to the end zone. It's fielded, I believe, by Hightower at the 5, up to the 10, 15, 20, 25. He's got a hole. 25, 30, 35, up to the 36. No, I'm sorry. That was Gillinger. So the 3 looked like a 9. The 9 looked like a 3 from my vantage point. So now the Brownsburg takes over with 1:18 to go here in the third quarter. They need 2 scores, although now we know that there is now we know that they are capable of moving the ball well through the air, And, of course, you never know when Akron Abate is going to break through for the big gain. So now one receiver to each side. Akron Abate, the lone running back. Under center now. Akron Abate gets it, and he takes it up for about 3. So that'll bring up second and about 7 or 8. A little over a minute to go here in the third quarter. Brownsburg trailing by 10. They fought their way back from down 20-0 to make it 20-17. Then the Tigers just regained their 2-possession lead there on a 3-yard touchdown rush by Maurice Campbell. And they're crediting Akron Abate with 2, by the way, on that last play. He has 59 yards now. And now I believe that that was a keeper by Johnson on the fake handoff. And he's going to be brought down for a loss of about 2 with 30 seconds to go here in the third quarter. They're marking it at the 36, so that would be a loss of 1. And actually, loss of 2. Pardon me. So now looks like 13 seconds, and they're going to let the rest of the clock run out. So we'll go to the fourth quarter here at Brownsburg. Your Bulldogs trailing the visiting Fishers Tigers 27-17, trying to make a spectacular come from behind win. We'll be back with a thrilling conclusion here on XRB Radio 1610 AM and AudioSportsOnline.com. Did you know Nelson's Jewelers in Brownsburg has been serving Hendricks County and the west side of Indianapolis with an extension selection of finer diamonds and gemstones since 1958? Nelson Jewelers is a family-owned jewelry store specializing in unique jewelry repair, appraisals, and watch repair. Nelson Jewelers is conveniently located in downtown Brownsburg across from the Hendricks County Bank. Visit Nelson Jewelers for all of your jewelry needs at 22 East Main Street and online at nelsonjewelers.com. That's nelsonjewelers.com. Nelson Jewelers, a little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary. Well, back here at Brownsburg, we're set to start the fourth quarter of what's been a barn burner of a game with your Brownsburg Bulldogs giving a valiant effort. They're trailing the 6th-ranked Fishers Tigers 27-17. It's been a wild and woolly game with big momentum shifts on both sides. And now Brownsburg has the ball, 3rd and 10 at their own 36, trailing by 10 points. They need a touchdown and a field goal. It helps that they do have a very good kicker in Brandon Dowers, who made a heck of an effort on a 58-yard attempt in the last quarter and has a 47-yarder on the season. Hit a 28-yarder tonight. So now, one receiver at each side. Now we've got Devontae Allen in the backfield along with Tokes Akron Abate. And so Johnson backs up to pass, throws over. He's got and nearly it's off the fingertips of Allen. So now Johnson's starting to cool up. He has 4 incompletions in a row after starting off after starting off 9 of 13. So, when you're a freshman thrown into the lions of varsity football, you take some lumps and you have your ups and downs, but overall he's had a very good game, by far his best game of the season, in fact. So now, set to punt now with 11:55, and the pressure on the Bulldogs defense now to get the ball back and soon without giving up any points. It's a high short punt out of bounds, and wow, that's only going to be a net punt of about 4 yards. It's a very, very bad kick there by Nathan Ramsey. And so the Fishers Tigers will take over with 11:47 to go here in the fourth quarter. And elsewhere in the sports world tonight, your Pacers are in action in NBA preseason action. They they lead the Chicago Bulls 29-21 at the end of the first. Paul George leading the Pacers with 13 points. Luol Deng leading the Bulls with 8 points. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the Eastern Conference now with Derrick Rose back in full form. But anyway, 1st and 10 now for the Tigers with outstanding field position. They're only going to credit Ramsey with 2 yards on that punt. They take over at the Brownsburg 38. So now fake hand up to Campbell. Throws over to Harris on the other side. He's got a hole up the middle. Takes it over to the left side. Now one man to beat up to the 10. And he's knocked out of bounds at about the 6. So Jayshun Harris, probably the player of the game for Fishers. And now that puts Christensen well over 200 yards. He's had a near-perfect game. He did have that interception, but he's completed 12 of 15 passes. That they're going to give him credit for 32, bringing him to 213 for the game. And so now it'll be first and goal at the 6. So now one receiver at each side. Maurice Campbell, the lone running back. He scored a rushing touchdown last time they were in the red zone. Gets the ball again. He's up the middle, and he's brought down at about the 3 or 4. So 11:06 to go. The Fisher Tigers trying to get that 3-possession lead back. They would do so with a touchdown and any conversion, as they give Campbell credit for 3 yards there. He has 74 now on 15 carries, just under 5 a carry. So now we've got Harris lined up out to the right, Williams to the left, I formation, which we've seen very little tonight from either team. I believe that, okay, and now that's handoff there to Campbell, and he gets into the end zone easily for the touchdown. So Maurice Campbell with his second touchdown of the game, both coming from 3 out. And there's, almost a 3-possession lead. They'll still need the conversion, because it's a 16-point lead right now with the conversion pending. Coming with 10:31 to go now. And now Sahakian going for the extra point. And hold by Harris. The kick is up, and it is good. So Sahakian 4 for 5 now, and there's that 3-possession lead I talked about. Maurice coming off Maurice Campbell's second touchdown rush of the game. And that makes the score 34-17 here at Brownsburg, 10:31 to go. And college football tonight, by the way, a little bit of an upset brewing, 4:13 to go in the second quarter. Louisville is tied 7-7 with Central Florida. I'm not sure if George O'Leary's still at Central Florida. I remember that's where he went after his 5-day stint at Notre Dame, where he ended up resigning in disgrace over the false resume scandal that led to the Tyrone Willingham hire. But anyway, back to the action here, though. Sahakian is setting the ball down on the tee now. And so if Brownsburg, loses this game, still they still have a lot to feel good about, that they were able to claw their way back when it looked like when it was 20-0 and Fishers had the ball. I really thought this was going to be at least a 35-point win, and Brownsburg proved me wrong. They showed a lot of heart. So now Sahakian with the kick. It's deep. It's going to be close to the end zone, and it's fielded about the 3, right up to the 15, the 20. He's got some room on the left side, and up to the 40, and now it stays in bounds. Finally knocked out at the 44 of Brownsburg. Excellent return there by Brad Gillinger. And Gillinger showing a lot of speed there and some good moves as well. He is a junior, so he'll be back next year. 5'7", 160. And now the Bulldogs they definitely need to get something going here. If they do not score in this possession, it's hard to think of any reasonable scenario in which they come back to win this game. And even so, their margin of error now is very low, but they did have that flurry of points there in late in the second quarter, so it can be done. So now Michael Clayer lined out to the right, and I believe Isaiah Hightower's lined up to the left. Akron Abate, of course, in the backfield. Akron Abate gets it. He's got a little bit of a hole, and he breaks through for about 4 or 5 up the middle. Akron Abate, he never, he takes it up the middle every time, and he's got the power to do it. So they're going to give him credit for 5 yards on that play. He's up to 64 now on 14 carries. He's done fairly well, but he's been held below his average. So now Hightower out to the right. Clayer Hightower to the left, Claire to the right. Akronabadi gets it. This time he's got open field ahead of him. He breaks through for up to about the 32. So that'll be a gain of about 20 yards, his longest of the game. I thought, he had one in him, somewhere, and sure enough, he did. 9:44 to go. The clock will stop temporarily to move the chains. They're marking him down at the 33, so that will be a gain of 19 yards and brings some life back into this crowd. So now, same formation. Akronabadi gets it again, but this time on a second effort, he gets up for about 3 more. And I'll tell you, it's I wonder if he'll ever get any kind of nickname that over the course of his career, because it's not easy to say 5-syllable names that frequently in a game when you're a commentator or an announcer. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But again, it's very rare in varsity football to have a player that young who is that good. And now he gets now that pitch back to Lissman, who gets about 3 more. So Lissman, had some decent success there in the third quarter, and now he's got. They're giving him credit for about 3 on that one. Yes, they are giving him 3. He has 28 yards now on just 4 carries. So he actually has more yards per rush than does Akronabadi. So now we got Hightower to the left, and now handoff there to, let's see who that was. He looks like he has the first down. And I believe that was, that was Daniel Ferguson, who's been good in limited action tonight. They're giving him credit for 4. So that is a much-needed first down now. 7:55 to go. The Bulldogs need 3 scores. So got Hightower to the left, Clayer to the right. Johnson throws over to Clayer. He's nearly made the catch. It looked like it was knocked away. And see who was the defender there for Fishers. Yeah, that was Simeon Foster there for Fishers with a nice save of a possible touchdown had Clayer made that reception. So now that is 5 consecutive incompletions there for Johnson after the 9 of 13 start. So now same formation here. Johnson under center. Gives it to Akronabadi. He's up, and he breaks a tackle and plows through inside the 10, so he's got another first down. 7:38 to go. The clock will stop to move the chains, and that's important at this point, trying to make up 3 possessions. So that will be first and 10 at the 10, so that's 11 yards for Akronabadi. He has 98 yards. Looks like he will get the century mark. So same formation again. And we've got a whistle here. Fishers is taking its first time out of the half. So at that, we will pause for a break. We'll be back for the thrilling conclusion of this game here on XRB Radio 1610 AM and AudioSportsOnline.com. You're finally on your own, living in your own place, paying your bills, making your own decisions. When your decisions involve insurance and financial needs, it's nice to have a little help. State Farm agent Pete Fay knows that being on your own shouldn't feel like being alone. Visit State Farm agent Pete Fay at 431 East Northfield in Brownsburg. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Well, back here at Brownsburg, we're set to continue play here with Brownsburg trailing Fishers 34-17. I'd like to take a moment here during this pause to thank Kelly Wagner, the athletic director here at Brownsburg, as well as Jim Snap, the superintendent. And now, so Brownsburg now lining up the same formation. They've got Hightower to the left, Clayer to the right, Akronabadi in the backfield. Now Hunter Johnson looks back to pass, and it's way off. There's miscommunication there between him and Clayer. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 at the 10 here with 7:23 to go in the quarter. Also like to comment about this beautiful stadium here, CF Rourke Stadium here in Brownsburg. This is the first year of this great facility. I covered a JV game here versus Avon back, I believe, in week 5 along with Christopher Worley. And it's great to finally be here for a varsity game. It's definitely one of the nicest high school stadiums I've been at. So now back to play here. Akron Abate gets it, and this time he is stopped for maybe a gain of 1. He might get forward progress out to the 9, and that's about it. They were ready for him that time as the clock continues ticking with 7:09 to go. And they're marking him, in fact, for no gain. So Akron Abate, 18 for 98 so far. And clock under 7 minutes now. Same formation that they've been in for most, if not all, of this drive. And he's still needing 3 scores, a little over half a quarter to do it. This time, fake to Akron Abate. Johnson keeps it himself, but this time he gets it off to Listman, but he's going to be knocked out of bounds just about the line of scrimmage. So Vincent Listman with his 5th carry of the game, that'll bring up 4th and 10. And Brandon Dowers, they're sending him out. If he hits it, it will be a 1-possession game here. So now Brandon Dowers, he hit earlier from 28. He's hit a 47 on the year, 6 of 9 on the year. This is well within his range. And the kick, and it is blocked. And it's a light ball, and Fisher's got it. He could go all the way. It's going to be close. Dowers, and he's finally pushed out of bounds at about the 34. Huge momentum building play for Fishers, and probably game-winning play. I could not tell who got it, but the block was picked up out of thin air and returned for about 60 yards there. And that should seal the deal for the Tigers. And I am trying to see across the field who that was. But nevertheless, it was a sensational play. And so with 6:32 to go, 6:32 to go, Fishers will take over at their 35. 1 receiver at each side, 1 running back. I believe Campbell's the lone running back. Christensen under center. He's had an excellent game so far. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, over 200 yards through the air. Also a 19-yard rush earlier. So now handoff to Campbell, who has 2 touchdowns already, and we got a flag here as Campbell gets up the middle for about 2 or 3. So let's see, with 6:23 to go, we'll see the referees are discussing it. And no idea what they're... Looks like it... Oh, okay, illegal block against Fishers. That'll be a 10-yard penalty. And so... those of you just joining us, it was a game that started off as a blowout. Fishers took a 20-0 lead early in the second quarter before 3 Brownsburg scores in the last 6 minutes of the second quarter made it 20-17. But then in the second half, a couple of Maurice Campbell touchdowns on rushing have put this game pretty well out of reach for Brownsburg. Nevertheless, they have made a valiant effort, and should be noted that all of their losses have been by 20 or more points this year. Right now, they're only down 17, so this very well could be their the slimmest margin of defeat on the year, although Fishers certainly has the firepower to up that lead. So now Campbell, he's got it's incomplete. He threw in double coverage to, threw in double coverage to Chase Buell, who has not had a reception tonight. So that's, believe it or not, that's only the 4th incompletion all game for Christensen. except for that interception, and that last pass, he's had pretty well a perfect game. By the way, in college football action, Louisville has just opened up a 14-7 lead over Central Florida. 58 seconds to go in the second quarter there. And so now that'll bring up 1st and 18. And they'll replay first down there. Okay, now they're saying that's pass interference there. Okay, so that was pass interference, yeah. So scratch that last incompletion there. My apologies. So, first down and 4, you don't hear that very often at any level of football. So now, Jason Harris lines out to the left, John Williams to the right. Each has, had some spectacular moments in this game. Each has a touchdown. And now, handoff there, I believe that's Campbell. He takes it around the right side. Yes, it is Campbell. And he's knocked out. He does have the first down. He's almost knocked out of bounds. I think they're going to mark him down at the 21. He's not been spectacular, but he's been very solid, and he has the 2 touchdown rushes. 5:54 to go now. The clock stops to move the chains. That will be an 8-yard gain there for Maurice Campbell. He's carried quite a workload tonight. 17 carries for 85 yards. Exactly 5 a carry. So now same formation. Christensen under center. 5:39 to go. And very well could be the last time we see the first unit for the Tigers tonight. Hand off to Campbell. He's got a hole on the left side, and he might have gotten all the way, but he tripped, and he's down inside the 10. So Campbell is now, he's going to be very close to the century mark with 5:21 to go as the clock stops to move the chains again. They're marking him down, it looks like, at the 9. And now the clock starts ticking again. So Campbell now with 97 yards on the game. Akron Abate is the leading rusher with 98. So same formation now. Both teams settling into the same formations here in the fourth quarter now. So Christensen under center. And he gives it to Campbell again, who's plows his way up the middle, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. That one coming from 9 yards. So Maurice Campbell with his 3rd touchdown of the game, and that gives Fishers their biggest lead of the game. It's 40-17 with 4:51 to go and the extra point pending. So Campbell also went over the century mark. Now he has 106 rushing yards on the game. And now Alex Sahakian coming out for the extra point. And let's see. And it is good. So Sahakian 5 of 6 on the game for extra points. And that brings the lead to 41-17. Technically, it is still a 3-possession game. Brownsburg to tie it would have to get 3 touchdowns and 3 successful 2-point conversions. But nevertheless, Fisher certainly entered this game, as a heavy favorite. They don't do odds. They don't do lines on high school football. If they did, the spread probably would have been about what the margin of lead is now, 24 points. And but Brownsburg certainly has some things that they've done very well this game that they can look positively at heading into the playoffs next week as they go out to Pike for that big showdown a week from tonight. That, of course, we'll be bringing you right here on XRB Radio 1610 AM as well as on audiosportsonline.com. So now Sahakian on the kickoff again, which is a very familiar sight tonight, as this will be his 7th kickoff of the game. And this one goes deep. It looks like it's going to be a little short of the end zone, fielded at about the 6 or 7. Brought up to about the 15, 20, 25, finds a hole, and he takes it a little past the 30. So that was Vincent Listman, who's had a solid game both on offense and on special teams tonight. So we'll get at least one more look at the first stringers for Brownsburg. And there's a holding penalty against the Bulldogs that'll back it up 10 yards. So that will back it up, I believe, to the 21. And I'll tell you, the temperature tonight was in the low 60s. I haven't talked about the weather all game, which I usually talk about that in the first segment. The temperature, though, tonight in the low 60s, and I'll tell you, it's the first game I've commentated all year that it hasn't gotten to 70 degrees. And usually, if you can get up to 4 games with 70-degree temperatures or better, you're doing well. So that we made it up to week 8 with 70 plus every game, that's been fantastic. We did have the lightning delay in week 2 and then the rain in week 5, but other than that, it's been a much better weather this season than last. We had some absolutely miserable weather last year. I mean, it's really sad. We had only 400 people show up for Lafayette Jeff in the first round of the playoffs because it was played in the midst of a downpour. So now Johnson up to Akron Abate, who takes it up for about 2, 4:41 to go. And there is another flag on that play. So, in short, like I said, this is the kind of game, and a lot of these Brownsburg losses this year, and it's going to be against Fishers, by the way. A lot of these games, these are the type of games that Brownsburg is probably going to be winning a year and certainly 2 years from now. Like I said, Coach Comer has a 49-35 record for these Bulldogs, and he's proven that he's great at developing talent. It's a great testament that he put 7 players from last year's team into college ball. That is an amazing achievement for any school. So now Akron Abate gets it again. He takes it up for about 3 or 4, 4:25 and counting. And so let's see. They're giving him credit for a 3-yard gain, so that will put him over the century mark. So now we have a 100-yard rusher for each team now. That's good to see. And now still the same formation, one receiver to each side. Akron Abate, the lone running back, as has been the case almost all game. Now a screen pass, and the Clayers he just started running with it too quickly. He had his hands on it, but he just started to take off running a little too soon. But nevertheless, Clayer, only a junior, he'll be back next year, and you give him and Johnson another year to, work out together and get their timing right, and they'll be a dangerous combination next season. Clayer still has 5 receptions tonight, including a touchdown. So now, and by the way, I have that as the 7th consecutive incompletion for Johnson. So now same formation, 3:51 to go. Handoff to, it's a keeper by Johnson, and he's going to be brought down for a short loss. And 3:38 to go, and it looks like the punting unit has not come onto the field yet. Oh, it looks like they're coming on now. But so now we'll see if Fishers will. Assuming they don't go for a fake. Last year when I called Brownsburg, the only Brownsburg football game, varsity football game I saw before, they went in the first quarter from about this point. Chase Dutra went. They went for a fake punt with Chase Dutra rushing for the first down, but and that one's punted out of bounds. Another very, very short punt there by Ramsey. That one's going to be only marginally better than his last one, which was for 2 yards. That one I think is going to be about 13. So 3:02 to go, and we will get at least one more look at the Fishers offense for this game. And looks like they are calling off the dogs here. We are seeing now in at quarterback Zach Eaton, who's played very sparingly this season. And he's got one receiver at each side, one running back. So now, hands off, and he's, whoever it is brought down for a loss of about 2. That is Patrick Chavis. And that's one of the great adventures as a commentator, is calling offensive plays when the deep subs are in the game at the end. So Chavis -2 on his first carry. So that'll bring up 2nd and 12, 2:32 remaining. Fishers has the swell pretty well in hand, up 41-17 here in the last game of the regular season. Same formation. Eaton under center now. He takes the snap, gives it to Chavis again. This time he's got a gain, and it's a good gain. He's up the middle for about 10 or 11. He's going to be very close to the first down. So Patrick Chavis showing some promise. He is a senior, 5'11", 178. And they're crediting him with a gain of 11, making up for that 2-yard loss on his first carry, as the clock now down to 1:48. And so now one receiver to now each side with an I formation. Again, a rarity in this game. A lot of the teams I've called this year use the I formation probably 2/3 of the time or more, but not these guys. So now another handoff to Chavis. This time he's brought down for maybe a gain of 1. So it's going to be very close to the first down, like maybe measurement close, but the clock still keeps ticking, and they're going to say he was just shy of it. So Chavis, 3 carries, 9 yards on this drive. It looks like they are going to go for it with 1:07 to go. And let's see. No, they're here's Sahakian. Are they going to go for a going to go for a field goal? This would be a 50-yarder for Sahakian. He is 9 of 10 on the season, by the way. He's a very good kicker. It's 51 now, and it's going to be well short. But there is a flag. 41.4 seconds to go now. So let's see what the call is. Yeah, they're still waiting for a signal. Roughing the kicker, so that is going to be against the Bulldogs. So that means that Fishers will retain possession of the ball since it's an automatic first down, and they will be able to simply to kneel on it and run out the rest of this game. So let's see. It is now 1st and 10 at the 34. Now I see Jayshun Harris is back in the game, but Eaton is now is still in at quarterback. So let's see. Looks like they are going to just take a kneel down by Eaton here. And they do, and looks like that'll come very close to ending the game. They might have to take one more. Depends on when they reset it. And no, they didn't reset it, so they don't have to run a play. So your Brownsburg Bulldogs will end the season at end the season at a record of 3-6, while Fishers ends the season at 8-1 and on an 8-game winning streak. So don't forget to tune in next week for the first round of the playoffs as your Brownsburg Bulldogs go on the road and play the Pike Red Devils. As always, thank you so much for joining us, and I cordially invite you to do so again a week from tonight as we start the playoffs here, 7 p.m. On audiosportsonline.com and XRB Radio, 1610 a.m. And as always, we give a special thanks to Kelly Wagner, the AD here at Brownsburg, and Jim Snap, the superintendent. And thanks to our sponsors, which are Bill Estes Ford, Brownsburg, BMO Harris Bank, Hendricks County Estate Buyers, Ivy Tech, Nelson's Jewelers, Pete Fay, your State Farm agent, Westside Plumbing, and Panuni's Pizza and Wings. Once again, your final score here tonight at Brownsburg. Fishers 41, Brownsburg 17. See you next week for the playoffs for XRB Radio 1610 AM and Audio Sports Online. This is Lex Zorn. Good night.